Hello. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. And if not, I hope it gets better from here. So let's get into the channeled messages for today. First and foremost, I have that, and then we'll get into the actual reading for today. So the channeled song for today is I'm Good by Johann Gerber and Puelo. I think that's how you say it. The numbers I saw for today were 211, 811, 911, 1010, 2929, 111, 1111, 511, 411, 222, 444, 1616, WWE, The Matrix, and Dino Nuggets and Fries. So let's see what on earth this adds up to today. So let's see. Hi, hello, welcome in. Let's see what astrological house we are in today for today's collective reading. We have the first house for the house of self. This is the house of self-expression. So let's see what sign in the house of self that we're in for today. And it looks like we have the number 5 for Leo. Hi, 5. So Leo in the house of self and expression. What a beautiful place for that sign to be in. So someone here could be a Leo rising. Don't have to be, but you could be. Hello, hi. Thanks for coming in today and for spending your Tuesday with me. If you hear noises in the background, as always, that's my kiddo. Thank you. That's my kiddo living his best life. We're not worried about him. We'll get into the runes to figure out some more details on this house of the self in Leo. Again, someone here could be a Leo rising. You don't have to be, but that is strong here. So let's see. We've got Ephas for transformation. Interesting. Okay. We have word, which is fate. It's kind of like the unknown fate, though. It's a little bit of a mystery. And then we have Kanaz. Kanaz for fire and creativity, your will. So we have fated transformation of will in the house of self in Leo. Interesting. And let's get some charms to figure out a little bit more detail before we hop into the tarot. I'm just going to put this here so that I don't accidentally influence it. So, tell me about this house in Leo, this fated transformation of will. Interesting, okay? So we have ancestors again. This keeps coming up. I keep getting this charm. Ancestors. So ancestors are here. We have this pink quartz, so healing energies. Pink quartz for some healing energies coming in here. We have the void, a dark night, so kind of like lost in the void, feeling a little bit of a dark period. But we also, we also have a spotlight, right? A spotlight, so guiding light in the darkness coming in, as well as this is, whenever I see this little charm here, it makes me think of spiral thinking, right? It's a negative spiral loop. And then we have the star right after that for healing and transformation, as I said. So that's very interesting. The house of self, a fated transformation in will, in the house of self in Leo. So perhaps a big change in self-confidence. I don't know. We'll see what we can get from the tarot cards and figure out what's going on here. But getting some good vibes here. Like I said, the song I got earlier today was I'm Good by Johann Gerber and Puelo, which is a really good song. It takes some of the original track from I'm Blue. That's a super old song. And it utilizes it, and it talks about, instead of saying I'm blue, dabu dee dabu die, it's more of I'm good and I'm feeling all right. It's like this is the best night of my life. So it's like a big celebratory party feeling. And all of the numbers I got talked about a cycle of renewal, letting go of negative thoughts, and an end of a chapter, start of new, manifestation, things being heard and being brought to fruition, and remaining optimistic at this time. And yes, to answer your question, I did. Yes, to answer your question, yes, I did do a little bit of charm casting a minute ago. I like to do that before I hop into the tarot. And this reading, Dr. Geeth, I believe that's your name. If I mispronounced that, I'm so sorry. This reading is about, it's collective, and it seems to be about the house of the self in Leo, a fated transformation in the will, our manifest, our motivation, our desire. And it seems like healing during a time that seems a bit dark, a period of spiral thinking, and the ancestors providing some guiding light to give you a bit of hope at this time. So let's get into the tarot. I'm feeling the soul tarot for today. So let's see. Let's see what this beautiful tarot has to say for today about the house of the self. Like, this tells me that there is some self-confidence being worked on here. I also have the colors of blue, light blue specifically for self-expression, as well as green, which is the heart chakra. So healing in that space. Interesting. This is collective. So if it resonates with you, don't make it fit, never make it fit. But if it resonates, stick around. See where we go from here. I also see the number 6, which is all about balance. So again, balancing out those energies. Interesting. Yeah. Oh man, before I started this reading, I was very tired. My sleep has been really messed up, but as soon as I started, it pepped right up. So perhaps at this time you've been feeling really tired, but there's some energy coming in. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry you're going through that. That's awful. Okay. These cards are being a little bit, there's like a, I notice these cards are being a bit more sticky than usual. Not like actually sticky, but they're a little bit harder to shuffle than usual. So this may be like a period of things going slow or hiccups, things like this. Yeah, it's kind of like this feeling of trying to bring this stuff in, but at this moment in time, it feels like we're moving through mud a little bit. Thank you for the gifts. This is a collective reading, not a personal reading. If you want a personal reading, I offer that at the link in my bio. Please feel free to check that out, and I'm more than happy to answer your personal questions there. I generally don't like to do personals on here because I don't like airing out people's dirty laundry. I don't like putting your business on blast for everyone to see. It's just not my thing. So let's see. What's going on with the collective right now? This weird, heavy energy. It's like trying to move, but our joints are stiff. It's hard to move. Things aren't quite, it's like it's not quite going smooth. The way I'm shuffling here, it's so weird because normally this shuffles really well, but it's sticking. The 3 of Cups in reversed, so celebration's not being had at the time. Okay, we're not celebrating. Why? Why? What's going on? What's going on here? Thank you. The 8 of Pentacles in the reversed. We're not celebrating. Not celebrating. 8 of Pentacles is usually talking about like working hard towards something. And the 3 of Pentacles upright is like celebrations, right? It's celebrating with friends and people that matter to you. In the reverse, it's like not celebrating our achievements. Or maybe we are not celebrating because we feel like we're not doing enough. Tell me more. What's going on here? Tell me more about the collective. Why are they not celebrating themselves? What is this Eight of Pentacles in reverse talking about? Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for your time, your likes, your comments, your gifts. Thank you. My goodness. The Four of Swords in reverse. Oh, we're feeling antsy. We're not celebrating because we feel like we're not doing enough. We're not feeling productive enough. Okay. We're not feeling productive. We're feeling restless and antsy. Again, if you hear background noises, that's just my kiddo. He's just living his best life. Don't worry about him. What is this? The Queen of Wands. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like we're not celebrating ourselves because we feel like we're not doing enough to go towards our desires. Yeah, we're feeling restless, brimming with like motivation and desire, but nowhere to put that energy at the moment. Okay. It's like we're feeling the drive and the desire to go after something, but we may not quite know what that is yet. The Five of Wands. Yeah, okay. We're still in the researching phase. Conflicted. There's like a conflict here. It's like we have all this desire. We want to do something with it. We're feeling restless, feeling like we're not doing enough. And we're trying to find the thing. Yeah, the Ace of Wands, trying to find the spark. And the Empress. Yeah. Trying to tap into the inner spark and the Empress. That beautiful, beautiful creative energy, right? The one who sits in the garden and makes the garden what it is. That makes the house a home. That makes a sanctuary. That makes it like... In tarot, the Empress embodies the divine feminine energy. Everybody has both, right? The masculine is the ambitious go-getter energy. They're the one who gets up and utilizes that motivation and that drive in order to go get the thing. The divine feminine is the one who is the creativity, the nurturing, the part of ourselves that is okay with receiving, right? So while the divine masculine part of ourselves is ambitious, they go and they get the thing. The divine feminine part of ourselves is the one who receives it. So it's like we're trying to receive our spark. We're trying to find the spark, but we're feeling restless. Oh my goodness. That one did a whole flip. And what is this? Oh, so I have a card that's sideways. When I see cars are relevant. When I see cards sideways like this always tells me that we're in that either or. This is literally our current energy. And this is the Lovers. Now, before anyone panics and leaves thinking this is about love, it's not. Okay? This is about the self-expression. The Lovers, when talking about self-expression, talks about what I just said. The divine feminine side and the divine masculine side. It's a balancing of those two. So having all of that motivation, that drive, that passion, that fire, and having nowhere to focus it, having nowhere to send it. Yes, that would make you feel restless and anxious. That would make everything feel like it's not moving fast enough, that we're not doing enough, right? This enough. There's this weird attachment to needing to do something enough in order to receive celebration. Tell me more. Because it's like I saw all of these numbers that talk about some throat chakra healing. There's not expressing yourself. There's some kind of pull, wanting to do something, having this motivation. It's like being inspired to change your life, but you don't even know where to start. And that usually leads to just changing every single thing. Yeah, I want to change how I think, how I behave, the patterns I do, what I'm doing to bring, like, the Two of Swords. Yeah, how I make decisions, how I move forward in life, the things I bring into my life. I want to make these changes. I have no idea where to start. So our first inclination is to change every single thing about ourselves. Yes. That's kind of where we're at. Choice. This balance of the divine masculine and feminine energies. And then there's this choice here. I don't do death predictions. I do not. That is not something I'm comfortable with. I'm not your reader if you're asking about death. You can move along. Thank you. What is the choice that they're making here? There's two options. There's something that you're trying to decide on. So let's figure out what the choice is, because that's kind of what's got us in this back and forth between lovers and devil energy. What are the two choices? Thank you. First, we have strength in the reversed. Okay, listening to our inner critic, our inner bully. That tells us all the reasons why we're not doing enough and we can't celebrate our accomplishments. And what is the other option here? What's the second decision? Second decision. What's the second option in this decision that has them in the in-between, going back and forth? In this weird, heavy energy, too much spiral thinking. That's that strength in the reverse. That's letting the inner critic kind of constantly repeat itself. What is the second option? Thank you. High Priestess reversed. Oh boy, what a decision. Can you clarify this High Priestess in the reverse? Because I feel like that's an interesting thing to choose between, is listening to our inner critic or ignoring our intuition. I just feel like, clarify that High Priestess in reversed. Thank you. Justice. Oh. What an interesting, and the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Okay, so it's like, and the Magician reversed. Manifesting, repeating cycles. Yeah, ignoring the intuition. This decision between letting our inner critic kind of decide everything and ignoring our intuition. Like, ignoring our intuition and manifesting more of the same. That's so weird, because normally it would be like the obvious bad thing and the obvious good thing, right? This is a collective reading. It's not a personal question. A decision of our thought process and how we speak into our lives. Yeah, this would be kind of like this is not a fun decision to make. Do I continue to listen to my inner bully that tells me all the reasons why I need to change somehow? I can't celebrate what I've already done, and I'm constantly telling myself all the ways that I'm not good enough. Or do I what? Do I continue to ignore my intuition? But there's the Justice here, which is usually like balancing the scales. What a weird... The three is... Oh. There's internalized pain here. Yeah. We have all this inspiration, and we might actually be causing ourselves a bit more pain, because we're trying... the change we're trying to make isn't really change we want to make for ourselves. It's changes we think we should make in order to fit a narrative. It's like, what I've done isn't good enough, so I need to do XYZ in order to be better, because for some reason we feel like who we are isn't worthy of celebrating. What a crazy energy this is. Okay, so we're in this really strange cycle of... I can see why you're in this darkness. This is not a fun decision to be stuck between because it's coming from a place of wounding. Thank you. The Four of Cups reversed. It's like wanting to leave behind being bored with your life and not following traditions anymore, but we still feel like we're not in control of our lives. So yeah, I see. Okay. We have all this inspiration to change. We feel like we need to change because for some reason we feel like we're not good enough. But instead of looking at what we're saying and what we're thinking about ourselves is the thing we need to change, we're looking at, I need to change who I am as a person entirely. I need a whole new lifestyle. I need to wake up earlier. I need to be doing XYZ. I need to be doing XYZ. I need to be working this job. It's like instead of being just you, you're trying to be somebody else. That's what you consider to be a definition of success. Yeah, because this is the house of self and all this spiral thinking, the house of self in Leo. It's like we're not confident in ourselves, and we feel like in order to be confident, we have to just be a whole different person. Yeah, instead of being inspired, it's like I just need to change everything about me instead of adding the things I like, the traits that I like, and trying to embody those with my own unique twist. It's more of, I want to be this person. Huh. Okay. Okay, so that may be why you're here today, because this is a confusing mess, and I can understand why we would be really restless. It's like, yeah, I want to change. I don't know where to start. And every option I'm looking at is not going where I want to be. It's like, why would you choose? That's not really a fun choice. Do I continue listening to my inner critic, or do I continue ignoring my intuition and repeating more of the same? Like, that's not a fun choice to make. Tell me more on this, Spirit. What a strange energy. Three of Wands. It's like we're waiting for the ships to come in. Have you already started making these changes and are kind of hoping for things to for you to just become a different person all of a sudden? Just like I'm getting the energy again while shuffling. This deck usually shuffles really nicely, but it's kind of like it keeps sticking. It kind of feels like when you don't oil a robot and it starts getting the rusty joints. Someone here may have arthritis, but it's like everything feels hard. Like we're not comfortable in our bodies. So we're trying to be someone entirely different, but you can't pilot someone else's meat suit. You have to pilot yours. Yeah, it's like what works for them works for them. That doesn't mean it'll work for you. That doesn't mean that you're unworthy, though. Why? Hold on. Tell me more. It's like we're waiting for the change, but the changes we're making are like looking at the routine of someone who's like the typical it person, the it guy, the it girl, and we're trying to copy it down to a T, but that's not who we are. And then we're blaming ourselves for not being somebody else. Because we have this feeling that there's something inherently wrong with us and we're not allowed to exist. Who we are is not good, and we have to change everything, which doesn't make sense, friend. Yeah, because this is exhausting. Even trying to shuffle, it feels exhausting. if you're not a 4 a.m. person, if you don't want to wake up at 4 a.m. and do a 2-hour workout, have green juices because they're disgusting, then don't. Why are you putting yourself through this? If you hate it, stop. There are ways to embody change that are healthier for you, that bring you joy without having to become somebody else. You're here to be you, friend, not them. Otherwise, you'd be them. Tell me more. Like, now it doesn't want to come out. Someone didn't like that I said that. There we go. King of Cups. Yeah, it's like we're waiting for the ships to come in. Yeah, we're trying to, like, we want to be the Empress. We're the Queen of Wands, but we're trying to also be the King of Cups. The King of Cups is like going after your dreams. Yeah, waiting for your dreams to come in, waiting for the emotional stability, but we haven't quite figured out how to call in the emotional stability yet. We're just kind of trying to force it to happen. And oh my gosh, this is a confusing read. Thank you so much for the gifts. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I'm trying to keep up with chat. It's a little bit, hi Stormborn. It's a little bit hard to focus and make sure I'm not missing anybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like I'm trying to hone in here because I feel like whoever this collective is, whoever this is for, I am so sorry because this is confusing. And I feel like that's why Spirit's coming in, because this like, oh my goodness, this like darkness, void area, feeling numb, feeling empty, trying to find any kind of grip, any kind of anything, needing a light, trying their best to just bring some kind of change into their life, whatever it is. Bring me something. Yeah. It's like trying to, yeah, again, that Lovers. So we're the Queen of Wands and we're trying to bring in the King of Cups. So like the motivation and then the emotion with it. But I have seen none of the swords and I have seen none of the pentacles. So there's not actually a plan here. And there's not actually the building the stability and the foundation for it just yet. But we're trying to like force it to come in. We don't even know what we want just yet. We just want something different. Change everything about me so that I will be happy. That's not how that works, friend. Yeah, we have the Queen of Swords. There's the thought. There's the thought here. That's that feminine thought process, right? The Queen of Swords in the upright. That's someone who, Swords is all about thoughts and words in the tarot. The Queen of Swords is someone who is very honest. They'll give it to you 100%, unfiltered. They're not going to hurt your feelings, but they're going to give you the truth. They're very fair. They're very just. They're going to give you the truth straight up. In the reversed, same thing, but it's the person who claims to be honest when they are just eviscerating your will to live with their words. Very curt, very cruel, just not nice. And I don't like nice. Nice is, no, they're not kind. They're not kind with their words, right? That's where we're at right here, right? We're trying to find the plan. It's kind of like building the plan that's fair to ourselves or just being overly critical of ourselves. I need to change because I'm the reason that my life sucks. And here's all the reason that I suck, right? Versus, I want to bring change in. I want to have more discipline, right? I want to have more discipline. So I need to give myself the opportunities to have more discipline. So you look for the discipline opportunities. How do you want to show up for that? This would just tell you all the ways in which you suck are undisciplined. You'll never be disciplined. It's all your fault. You're terrible. That kind of thing. You have a very rude inner critic that you inherited from somebody. Someone gave that to you, and that sucks. I'm so sorry. Yeah, like very mean with our inner critic. Could be a mother figure too. Usually that comes in inherited from a mother figure. Doesn't have to be. Tell me more. So it's like, I want to change because somebody told me I was inherently bad. Yeah, 10 of Wands. Carrying all these burdens. You're trying to do all these changes. You're doing too many changes, first and foremost. You want to bring change and you do one thing at a time. You don't overhaul your life overnight. That's unrealistic for anybody out there. And you're going to burn out, crash, and burn. And then you're going to go back into the shame loop of telling yourself, oh God, I suck. I can't completely rewrite my entire life overnight. I can't all of a sudden become someone who wakes up at 4 a.m., goes to a 3-hour Pilates class, has my green juices, somehow has my emotional health and balance, can meditate for 4 hours a day, goes on all these walks, has all these things with my friends while still like making my business come true and all this. Like, it's like trying to do too much and then blaming yourself for not being able to do it when nobody can do that. Not a single person out there can do 20 changes in a week. No, it's a slow, gradual process, right? And that 6 of Swords, that's that mindset. This constant, never-ending bullying of putting all this pressure on yourself to yeah, like I said, this decision, listen to the inner critic or continue to ignore your intuition and manifest more of the same. We're stuck in the feedback loop. I don't have control over my life. I really want to stop being bored. I want to stop this cycle of that. I have all this internalized pain. I have all this inspiration, but I don't know where to start because I want change. I don't know where to start. I can't just pick one and go with that for a little while to make it a habit. Instead, I'm just going to do all of it, burn out, and then berate myself for not being able to do all of these changes. Oh my gosh, friend, you're probably the eldest daughter. Don't have to be, but I remember this feeling. I've been here before. Yeah, this is a feedback loop of shame. There's some form of somebody told you once upon a time that there's something inherently wrong with you. You're all these reasons why you're bad, and you have to make all these changes and be someone entirely different in order to be successful. And that's not true at all. No, that is not true at all. So we have our what. I'm glad I finally got there because I was like, what in the world? We got there because I see ancestors here. I see fated transformation of will and motivation and fire. And I see the ancestors here bringing in that healing with that rose quartz, which is all about self-love healing, right? And again, this is the house of the self in Leo, healing in the self-confidence, confidence within yourself, self-love. This period of being in the dark and constant spiral thinking is over. Ancestors, your ancestors have had enough. All right. Hello, hi Jade. Yeah, your ancestors have had enough. They're like, no more of that. No, we're here to shine the spotlight on. We're here to shine some light on this and bring you some hope. Okay, because this has gone on too long. This has gone on too long. You want change? You want me to bring the change in? All right, I got you. I'm feeling the Mythos Tarot. So let's get into the why I have appeared on your FYP to call you out today. Oh no. Because I've been here. I'm definitely like, this is giving eldest daughter, gifted kid, constant burnout, probably has ADHD, might have a dose of the tism, don't have to, you could though. And we have this inherent feeling that we're bad and we need to do all this stuff. And if we don't, we're bad and we're evil and we don't deserve to exist. Oh, lovely. I'm doing well. Thank you. Always good to see fellow readers and mediums who understand the journey. Yes, that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing this. This is coming strong. There's a huge self-confidence wound here. And an issue, because I keep getting this irritation in my throat. An issue with saying what we want, saying what we desire, having our boundaries, speaking up for ourselves. Thank you. There's a huge issue here. And we've internalized this. We've internalized this, and we are now utilizing the voices of the people who came before us, and we are now saying it in their voice to continue the cycle of being victimized and bullied. But now it's in our voice. Welcome in, Taylor. All right, so why do they need to hear this at this time? I'm sure they're very much aware of what's going on in their life. So why do they need me to be telling them this at this time? Thank you. The King, the Knight of Cups, Morpheus. Morpheus. I'm so glad that Christina's helping you feel better, Taylor. I know you've been really going through it. And much luck to you as you continue forward, truly. Morpheus. I work with this deity. He's an absolute dream. I just realized the pun I made. He is an absolute delight to work with, right? He's all about shadow work. Okay? You notice how his eyes are closed? He is a deity of dreams in the dream world, right? In the dream world, our eyes are open. In the dream world, we can transform with the butterfly here, right? In dreams, he shows up however he wants to. You can go through his mythos, but he is a shape-shifting type. He can appear as any male form, male humanoid form. So he can be whatever he wants. Whatever he wants. But he rules shadow work especially. He delivers messages in dreams in order to help you with shadow work. There's a fish here as well, so deeply intuitive. Deeply intuitive and butterflies for transformation. He's all about being in the dream world, who we are while we sleep, healing while you sleep. Our dreams want us. That's the message here. Your dreams want you, right? You don't have to prove that you're worthy of your dreams. You have those dreams because you're meant to have them. It's meant to bring that to you, right? You're like, I want to be someone who is confident. That's because you are meant to be confident within yourself. What you want wants you. That's the message from Mr. Morpheus here. He's the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups in the traditional tarot is the most romantic knight in the deck, right? They talk about romanticizing your life. They talk about self-love, right? They lead completely with the heart. You notice how in waking life, his eyes are closed, and that's because he's following his intuition, right? He's following his dreams. He doesn't need to see where he's going because he already has the destination in his dreams. That's what that means. I love working with Morpheus. He is an absolutely beautiful energy to work with. We have here the Seven of Pentacles with Calliope in the reversed, right? Absolutely gorgeous. Seven of Pentacles. We look at our lives and we are not happy with it. The Seven of Pentacles often talks about looking at the crops you have been investing your time and your energy into, right? In the upright, it is just a review of it, right? And you're deciding whether or not to continue putting love, attention, water, those types of things into the crops. In the reversed, it's looking at it and not really being happy with what you're seeing. And here we have the Eight of Wands with Atalanta, right? Atalanta. Eight of Wands is all about fast energy. It's all about bringing in our dreams quickly. Yeah, that restless energy, right? It's like trying to bring our dreams in quickly because we're not happy with our lives. It's definitely an energy of things progressing forward fast. Interesting. Tell me more, Spirit. Why else do they need to hear this at this time? I keep getting... 3 is a beautiful number. I keep getting this energy all, like so far this week has been this energy over and over again of people rushing their manifestations. People trying to rush, trying to skip the process. We're trying to be at the destination, but not realizing that in order to get to the destination, like if your dreams showed up today, right now, if you woke up tomorrow and you were a brand new person, you'd have no idea how to continue those goals. You wouldn't have the discipline. You wouldn't have the discipline to hold it, right? The whole point is to build the habits in order to maintain the goal. Because if you just received it, it would slip through your fingers. You don't know how to hold it. You haven't gotten there yet. So we're trying to rush. Life is not a race, friend. It's a journey. There's no reason to be running at full tilt. And there's that 7 of Wands with Soteria. We feel like we have to rush because people have opinions. Unsolicited opinions, right? Normally, the 7 of Wands is someone standing on top of a hill and they are defending themselves against all these other wands, all these people with their ideas. Oh, have you tried this? Have you done it this way? You should do it this way, right? No, right? That's kind of where we're at. You notice how in this, we have this rabbit here, which talks about fertility and abundance, right? Talks about fertility. Now, again, this is not that type of reading. This is all about the house of the self. Fertility is like creativity, ideas, bringing things into your life, right? It's that wonderful divine feminine aspect we're trying to bring in. She has this fertility aspect. She has this rabbit. And instead of beating back all these wands with her wand, she's wearing their opinions in their hair like they're irrelevant. Oh, pretty. Noted. Thanks. I'm off. Goodbye. Right? Like, I'm heading out of here. I don't care. I'm just going to wear your opinions. I'm going to wear it. I don't need it. Right? But in this energy, it's more of like, we have these dreams. We want to chase these dreams. We've looked at our life and we're not happy with it. And we feel like we need to change because instead of wearing these opinions like they're just hair ornaments, we're wearing them like that's supposed to be our whole entire identity. Other people's opinions, other people's ideas on what our life is supposed to look like. What's up, Doodle? Mommy's working, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, I'm working. Yeah, this sideways with the 2 of Pentacles. Again, decisions, priorities, right? Oh my goodness. All this incense smoke, clearing of that negativity. Yeah. I say this a lot in a lot of readings because people need to hear it. If you are getting advice from someone, look at their life and how it is right now. Do you want your life to look like that? Right? Ooh, that card went all the way over there. If someone's giving you advice and their life is a dumpster fire, don't listen to their advice. If you listen to their advice, you'll end up where they're at. Plain and simple. Unless their advice is, do not do this or you'll end up like me, then by all means listen. Follow the advice of people that you like their lifestyle, right? I'm not saying follow their exact schedule to a T, but if they're saying, I found out what time works best for my body in order to work out, do the same, right? Follow that advice. Get your priorities in order. Why are you letting everybody else tell you how to pilot your meat suit? Why are you letting everyone else's opinions on your life be your life path? It's your life. It's your meat suit. They don't have to live in your meat suit. They don't have to pay the bills that you're paying. They don't have to deal with the fallout when it doesn't work out. So why are you listening to them? A lot of times people will give advice, not realizing that their well-intentioned advice is actually bad advice. They'll think they're helping, but they're not helping. We have the Two of Wands here in the reversed. That's like, because we are letting other people pilot the meat suit, we can't ever make plans, because before we can make a plan, we have to consult everyone else's opinion. This would look like, hey, I really want to do this. What do you think? What do you think I should do? Which career path should I go on? Should I move here? Should I invest in this? Should I try this diet? Should I go for this aesthetic? Right? You're not thinking for yourself. You're allowing other people to influence whether or not you go for the thing. Thank you. Yeah, it's like we're focusing too hard on what others' idea of success is. And there's the star with Nyx, her in all her glory. Those of you who don't know, remember how I said we were in this darkness, in this dark period in our lives? This is the deity of darkness. This is the deity of the stars. She's the one who comes in and helps people out of the darkness. She's the gentle aspect of the darkness, the beautiful stars in the night sky, right? The calm parts, the gentle parts. She's coming in. This energy is coming in. This healing is coming in. Once we stop letting other people decide what we should be doing. Yeah. Am I successful yet? Am I your version of success yet? Do I look like what successful is? Do you feel successful? Why? Why or why not? What is your version of success? When you start actually thinking about what your definition of success is, and you go, wow, I'm able to pay my own bills. That's pretty successful. I have my very own space. Like, I have my own very own apartment. That's successful. I'm able to take all my meds. That's successful to me, right? When you start doing those types of things and you stop looking for all the, wanting to make sure that everyone thinks you're successful, you stop needing all their opinions. You stop stressing over it. You start chasing after the things that actually make you feel good, because you're not looking for everyone else's version of success, right? We have here Judgment with Athena. Hello. Judgment. Judgment coming in here. The healing over the judgment. The healing over feeling like, in order to be successful, in order to love myself, I have to meet a version of myself that's accepted by everybody else. Yeah, when we stop listening to everybody else's priorities in life, right? Because what I consider to be my top priority is not what you consider to be your top priority, right? So listening to other people tell you what their version of success is, and then basing your entire life decision around it, means that you're living your life for other people and not for yourself. And then wondering why you don't like your life. It's because you're living for someone else. You're not living for you. The cactus, yes. Yeah, you become prickly. Life is prickly. It sucks because we're not living the life we want. We're living the life everyone else is telling us to live. Yeah. we want the Nine of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, right? We want the stability. We want that success. Remember how I said we didn't have the Pentacles in there? Here they are right here. The Nine of Pentacles is someone who is surrounded by their abundance and they are confident within themselves, right? They don't need anybody. They have everything they need. The people in their life are there because they want them, right? They're surrounded by their cornucopia. They don't even care about the coins being handed to them because they're good. They're good where they're at. They're fine. And we want that legacy. The Ten of Coins is right after that. It's when you get like the family, it's literally the success card, the legacy, the everything, right? Oh, wonderful. Thank you. That's where we're at. Like what? That's where we're at. If you're wondering who I'm responding to every now and again, that's my child. I'm the only one up, so he's coming and interacting with me. Don't worry about him. That's part of the life, you know? We have the Devil here in the sideways. Again, when I see sideways cards like this, that tells me we are either going to, like, we're going back and forth between these two energies. I'm really glad to hear that, Mermaid, because I know this resonates with somebody. I'm not just talking out of thin air, right? We're going back and forth on the Hades energy, that devil energy, that self-sabotage energy, right? So in the sideways, again, 1, 2, 3, making progression though. Sideways energies, getting our priorities straight, listening to that self-sabotage. Well, everyone tells me I should be going this way, so I should be going this way. Do you actually like going that way though? Do you actually like living this way? Do you like following their version? Our priorities are skewed to someone else's priorities. Or do we leave behind that constant feeling like we have to belittle ourselves, betray ourselves, live a life we don't actually want, and go after the things we consider valuable, we consider important, that actually make us happy and make us feel good, right? Leaving behind all that, like, it's hard to describe it, right? Because it's like the Devil card talks about addictions and vices and self-sabotage, the shadow side, the ego, the part of ourselves that's built up by the voices of other people who have chosen to live their life in their ego, in their shadow side. It's not a bad thing. It's a defense mechanism, right? It pops up to prevent us from being hurt in ways that we've been hurt before. But oftentimes it can be an armor that gets progressively tighter and tighter as we grow up, and it keeps us from pursuing new things and changing. It tries to keep us small, to keep us safe, right? At one point, opinions did matter, but now we're so chained to these opinions. We subconsciously seek everyone else's validation in order to proceed forward, that it's hurting us now. Like, this could have helped you survive at one point. This could have helped you get forward and kind of figure things out, but now it is stifling you. Yes, it's usually based around trauma. There's like, usually when it comes to, like, I wouldn't be surprised if someone here has a Leo and Chiron. I know that feeling. That's mine. And it's a deep, deep wound in being seen, in celebrating their accomplishments, even admitting they have any talent at all. Definitely usually the invisible child, the one who was never really seen or heard because they didn't want to bother anyone or be a burden. Always play small, always play humble. Usually we're self-abandoners, aka people pleasers, for a very long time. Probably we're in a lot of really awful traumatic relationships. Usually the empath narcissist type. I don't like throwing that word around because it's overused, but it's definitely giving that vibe. But it's people who look for validation elsewhere. In order to be loved, I have to find some sort of external validation that I'm doing enough. Why else do they need to hear this at this time, Spirit? Yeah, because we're going through that devil energy. Yeah, 6 of Coins, past memories. No, 6 of Cups, excuse me. Right? The deity of memories. But like nostalgic memories, childhood memories, that's right here with the devil, going back and forth. Remember that one time where we tried to be ourselves and it didn't work out? Remember that time, how much it hurt us? Yeah, oh my God, the sun. Remember that time? Remember that time when it didn't work out, when we couldn't chase our inner fire, our inner Leo, or our inner happiness? Remember that time it didn't work out? Remember how bad it made us feel? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Remember that really bad memory that put us in the depression and the sadness? Instead of in like, no, I can go towards the things my inner child wants, and I can go towards my happiness, right? Back and forth, back and forth. Someone here may have a cold because before I started, my nose was not stuffy and runny, weird combination, but it's coming in. Or they could have allergies. Yeah, it's like, I get this a lot. My poor collective. I attract trauma beings. I mean, I am part of my collective, so I understand. Deep confidence wounds and going back and forth on whether you have earned your happiness. Have I done enough to be happy yet? You don't gotta earn it. You earn it by existing, okay? I don't care what your mom said, what your dad said, what that person said. I don't care what they said. We are here to find our happiness. And there's no grading metric system. Spirit doesn't grade you and then go, oh, right, you got 89 points. You're allowed to be happy now. No. The whole point of being here is to choose your happiness, to choose you and to go after your happiness. Not asking everybody else, what is happiness? What makes you happy? There you go. It sounds so simple, I know. But like the Knight of Wands with Heracles right after that, what makes you happy? Go after it. What lights you up? Go after it. You're like, I want to change. Where do I start? Go after the thing that lights you up inside. Not what he says you should be doing, not what she says you should be doing, not what they say you should be doing. None of that. What do you want to do? What would make you happy? Right? I really want to paint. Paint. You don't have to be good at painting. Every painter started out shit. Okay? Five of Swords, Aries. Yeah. There's that sideways again. Stop letting other people tell you how to live your life, okay? They're going to give you their version of reality. And a lot of times people don't want... I don't want to say that. A lot of humanity is actually very kind, despite what everyone wants to believe. But there are those people out there who see people trying to go after their happiness, and it triggers their inner demons because they've chosen to not go after their happiness. So they do the crabs in the bucket. They try to keep you from doing it because if you go do it, they no longer have an excuse. They have to confront the reality that they're willfully choosing to stay where they're at and not be happy. That's usually how that goes, right? That Five of Swords, telling people you should do this, you should do that, you should do this diet, even though it sucks and nobody likes it and it's really harmful to the body. But you'll lose 55 pounds in a week, not healthy, right? And then you'll be so happy because you'll be thin now, which isn't the case. You'll be miserable because the diet sucks. And then when you finally get to stop the diet, you'll binge the food that you have been craving the entire time, regain the weight, because that's usually how it happens. I would know. I've been in this diet culture my entire life. You regain all that weight back, and then you feel like you failed because you were normal and you went through a huge cycle of deprivation for so long that you finally gave in. But how dare you crave things? You know? All because someone said you should follow the same cycles as me in order to keep us in the same cycle repeat. And a lot of people do not do this maliciously, right? They do it subconsciously. They're just giving you advice because it's what worked for them or they heard about it, not realizing that it's actually very harmful advice. You know, not everyone's out to get you, you know? Sometimes they are just giving what they think is well-intentioned advice, and it's actually not helpful advice. Not at all. Why else did he need to hear this at this time? Yeah, this would be like going through and seeing what, like, yeah, finding people that you're inspired by, going through, and maybe you have a specific person that really inspires you, but you're trying to follow what they're doing, but it's not, you forgot about the fact that, or maybe you're not aware of the fact that the people that you were inspired by started where you were at one point, and they had to learn along the way what worked for them and how to do it in order to achieve that result. Oh, Angel, this is the Mythos Tarot. This is the pocket edition, right? Absolutely gorgeous deck. I absolutely agree. But yes, they are gorgeous. Why else do they need to know this at this time? And it talks about all the Grecian deities, right? Not every single one, because they had so many, but a lot of them. Absolutely beautiful. It ties into their mythos. Very cool deck. Thank you, Spirit. The Magician. And that Lover's card again with Aphrodite and Hecate. The goddess of magic herself and the goddess of love herself. Manifesting self-love. Right? We see love and we automatically think romantic. Again, this is the house of the self. And love also includes self-love. We're trying to manifest self-confidence and self-love. But we keep trying to, we're trying to do that, but we're stuck in a, oh, okay. This is like a, I want to change, and so I get into a self-help type of thing, but I self-help myself into oblivion where I'm always looking for new things to be fixed. There's something always wrong with me. I need to fix it. Yeah, I need to fix it. I need to change. And we're looking for everyone's opinions on, like, how do I do enough self-care? How am I doing enough self-love? You got to find what works for you, friend. You can follow the advice of some people if you want to, but at some point, the baths and all of that get expensive. At some point, you've journaled so much that your hand starts to hurt. At some point, you have read so many self-help books and not actually added the knowledge into your life that you were just constantly looking for new things to fix and not sitting in the present moment, acknowledging any of your progress that you've made and kind of feeling like you haven't gone anywhere. Yeah. Refusing to leave the thought process behind. It's like we're holding on to the, I need to be fixed. I need to be fixed. We're holding on the, I need to be fixed. There's something wrong with me. I need to be fixed. Oh boy. The Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords. Okay. The Queen of Swords is not a bad card. I'm only saying that, right? Because I identify with the Queen of Swords quite heavily. Very logic-brained female. Someone who doesn't have to be feminine, right? You know who you are. Very logic-brained, very fair. They're, again, that person who's going to give it to you straight. They're not going to hurt your will to live. They're not going to eviscerate your feelings, but they are going to give it to you straight. Why do you feel like you need to be fixed? What is wrong with you as a person? What actually is wrong with you, though? Is your sleep schedule off? Okay. That's fine. A 9 to 5 work schedule is fine for people who wake up at 9 to 5 who have that morning energy. How do you think humans were able to keep eyes out on nocturnal predators if there weren't night owls? Do you really think that Pilates is the only workout that needs to happen, that you can't do kickboxing? Do you really think that in order to be a painter, you have to be perfect at painting? I'm here to bring some logic to your life, okay? You're trying to manifest that, but you want everybody else to tell you how to be happy. What are you talking about? You need to be happy with you first. Six of Wands. You want everybody to tell you how good of a job you're doing at self-healing. You have to notice the job you're doing. You have to pay attention. You like, okay. When you want external validation for your internal work, how are people going to tell you how far you've come on your internal work if it's internal? How are they going to read your mind to hear that your thought process is different now? How are they going to see that you are now getting in control of yourself if they are not watching you 24/7 to see how you're showing up for yourself? You have to pay attention to yourself. What's wrong with you that you can't acknowledge the progress you've made? If you're showing up and you're catching yourself during negative spiral think and you're going, I don't think that way anymore, pat yourself on the back. You just made progress. Show up for yourself. In order to have self-love, you have to love yourself. You can't wait for someone else to go, wow, you're doing a great job. How would they know? The only person who might know is a therapist. And even then, right? Even then, your therapist would tell you that you should not be relying on them to tell you to love yourself. That's not their job. Their job is to give you tools to regulate, to self-soothe, to overcome things. They give you the tools to help you put in the effort and heal yourself. That's what they do. They're not here to give you a metric on how healed you are. They're here to help you do the healing. They're here to give you the resources. Eventually, you should stop coming to them because you should have worked through it. Eventually, you will have the tools you need to work through it yourself, right? You don't need a lifelong therapy session. You just need the tools on how to handle the emotions. You need the tools to learn how to have that confidence. In order to recognize you have the self-confidence, again, it's self, it's internal work. You have to pay attention to how you're showing up. Because nobody wants to watch anybody 24/7. And if anyone is watching you 24/7, call the cops. Because that's not good behavior. That is not a good relationship to be in. And I know someone out here is going to argue with me on a very specific lifestyle, and I am not talking about that. You know who you are, you little D-Gen. My people, we're not talking about that right now, okay? All right. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. In order to have our good luck, in order to stand on the top of the Wheel of Fortune, in order to get in our self-control, in order to have that self-love and throw the parade for ourselves, we have to recognize our own changes. People cannot celebrate your internal work if you aren't even aware you've done the internal work. So there's something that I've learned over the years. And this may be helpful. So I'm going to say it. You will notice the changes before anyone else does. Now, I know that may be a little confusing because there is also another thing to say, right? Of you see yourself in the mirror every single day. You are with yourself every single day, so sometimes it's hard to notice the subtle differences. However, you will notice the change before anyone else does. Why do I say this? Simple. You will be the one who catching yourself mid-thought spiral. And you will be the one that tells yourself, I don't think that way anymore. Right? You're the one who notices first. But then you get in your head and you go, well, am I progressing? I don't feel like I've done anything. Right? And then you go ask everyone else, have I shown up differently? Am I like, it's like you want to ask, am I a better person now? But No one wants to ask that. That sounds too intense, right? Yeah, it's 5 of coins. Am I still suffering? Am I done suffering yet? Am I done being in this era? Can I come out of this position now? Am I worthy of being loved? Yes. Yeah. Have I finally brought my justice in, or am I still stuck? Yeah, like am I done being treated unfairly? Am I done? What are you talking about? You're showing up and loving yourself. You've already broken the cycle. You're the first person to show up and treat yourself right. Yes. Yeah, you want to know, is it okay to not need to heal anymore? Is it okay to be okay? Like, you're showing up and you're healing yourself. You're loving on yourself as you should be. Loving on yourself is so important. Because, as I've said many times before, you are the one that has been with you from the moment you were born until the moment you die. You came into this world with yourself and you will leave with yourself. So you might as well be be kind to yourself while you're here. Right? You're the one who will always have your back. That doesn't mean no one loves you. It just means that you've got to have you. You've got to have you. Yes. That Knight of Swords. Yeah. That thought process and that inspiration. Am I worthy of going after my inspiration now? Have I done enough healing? Have I done enough work? Can I finally do it? Can I finally be my emotionally balanced self? Can I finally be the inspirational leader that inspires others to do the same? Can I finally? If you're waiting for someone else to tell you, they're never going to tell you. Because the people you're probably asking are the people who put you in that in the first place. Yep, they're probably the people who put you in your head and probably make you feel like you're all beat up. So why are you asking them? They want you to stay the same. Intentional or no. If they're the one who put you in the mental prison, why would you ask for them to let you out? Get out of the mental prison. Stop repeating their words in your voice. They're just words. Just because they said, oh, you're not shit, you're never going to be anything, doesn't mean it's true. It's their opinion. And guess what? Opinions are just like assholes. Everyone has one, and oftentimes they stink. Just saying. Opinions are not facts. It doesn't matter if it's the Pope. It doesn't matter if God himself descended from the clouds and went, you suck. Like, and that's your opinion, bro. God would never. Spirit would never. The universe would never. They would never do that. So obviously you're not real. Get out of here. God, could you imagine the Pope just shows up and says, you suck. And you're like, okay. And I care why? Yeah. Queen of Wands in the reversed. Why do I care? Why do I care about that? Yeah. Yeah, the people who tell you that are people who can't even pursue their own wants. They can't even pursue their own manifestations. The Queen of Wands reversed is someone who, they're the one who steals your man. They're the one who goes after your partner. They're the one who spreads lies about you. They're the one who calls you a hoe. They're the ones who keep you stuck. Always. They're the ones who tells you to not chase after your dreams because they're too busy trying to take it from you. Yeah, they're the ones who are always stuck. That's that energy. Like they're stuck in the same mental prison of I need everyone's validation in order to be loved and everybody else's competition. But it's really just I hate myself, and anybody who's being happy with themselves upsets me because if I see them loving themselves, that means that I could have been doing the same thing all along, and that bothers me because now I have to face my own bullshit. Isn't that funny? 7 of Cups. Yeah. Going after choices. Yeah, feeling like we don't have choices. You have choices, friend. Yeah. You have choices. Go after your innocence. Go after your inner child. This is the goddess of youth, the goddess of eternal youth. Go after that thing that lights you up, that brings you back into that playful, innocent energy, back to where things that make you sing, things that make your heart happy, okay? If you want to have that self-confidence, if you want that self-love, you have to start by showing up and actually loving on yourself and not looking to everyone else on what that even means. Do the things that you enjoy. That's how you bring self-love and happiness to yourself. By not giving a crap what anybody else thinks, because it's your meat suit. You should be piloting your meat suit. There. So let's get into what you even need to do about this, because it's easy to tell you what's going on. It's easy to tell you why it's going on, but what should you even be doing about it, though? Let's see. Who wants to talk? Oh, thank you so much, Mermaid. Thank you. Who wants to talk? Yeah, we'll go Marigold. Okay. So we have our what is going on with the collective. We have our why you need to hear this at this time. Now let's get into this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous Marigold tarot, which is often my shadow work tarot. It's the one who's going to give it to you. So if you don't like hearing the truth about yourself, you should probably bounce. They're not going to be mean, I promise. That's never my intention here. I'm not here to make you feel shame or anything like that. I'm here to bring awareness. That's why I'm here. What do they need to do about it at this time, Spirit? Let's get into it. Let's dig deep, because the person who's here wants clarity. We've got this decision that both options are kind of terrible. So let's give them some clarity. Why do they even, don't make that decision. Do something else. If you ask me, that's not a decision worth making. We should move on to the third option, which is avoiding this. What do they need to do about it at this time, Spirit? We definitely have a self-confidence wound. We definitely have this wounding here. We're trying to figure out how to get out of it, but we're a bit too addicted to other people's validation. Ace of Swords. You need to get to your truth, friend. Truth. Ace of Swords represents truth and clarity. You need to get clear on what you actually want. Yeah, I know. What does that even mean? All right. What do you want? What's success to you? What makes you happy? What are your priorities? What actually are they, though? Not what everyone says they should be. What are yours? Thank you. Yeah. 8 of Wands in the reverse. Stop rushing. Stop rushing. Why are you racing to the finish line? What do you think happens if you get there, you finished it, life is already over? Do you think you get a gold medal for completing that manifestation? What do you think happens if the dream just shows up in your hands when you're not ready to hold it? What do you think happens? It's like the people who win billions of dollars, but they have no idea how to handle billions of dollars, and within a month it's gone. That kind of thing, right? You can't just snap your fingers and become an entirely different person. That's not how that works. If you did that, you would not even be you anymore. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. People who suck told you there was something wrong with you, and you decided that was reality. And I'm not saying you made that decision lighthearted or anything. This was obviously given to you by someone that mattered a lot to you, and you valued their opinion. But again, it was their opinion. That's not reality. That's not fact. I don't care if it was just them. I don't care if it was 53 of them. I don't care if it was an entire community. Again, I don't care if God himself descended from the heavens and said, you are lazy. You don't work hard enough. You're not enough. Right? Doesn't matter. That's an opinion. Because Spirit, universe, God, whoever you believe in, would never descend from the heavens and berate you specifically for no reason at all. It would never do that. That's not how Spirit operates at all. They would never. No. The Lovers. Yeah. Remember how I said we were in that balancing act? Going back and forth? We need to balance it. Again, in order to balance it, you need to get clear on what you actually want and stop rushing. And the Four of Wands in reverse. We have this shaky foundation here. Yeah. I said this yesterday in my collective reading. You never want to rush building the foundation. If you were having your house built, you would never want the people building the foundation of your house to do a rush job and build it wrong, and then the slightest thing causes your whole house to crash down. You want to build the foundation correctly. You want to do everything. You don't want to skip any corners, you don't want to cut any corners. You don't want to skip any steps. You want everything exactly the way you want it. You want a really sturdy, solid foundation. What matters to me? What do I consider success? What can I focus on? Where can I start? Right? Not what does this person say is a good starting point. It's what matters to you the most. Is it money? Great. There's nothing wrong with money. If you want money in your life in order to buy the things you need in order to bring that stability, there's nothing wrong with that. Go from there. If it's self-love, go with self-love. Figure out how to bring that into your life, right? Find the practices that bring you that happiness, that help you get into your mind, or get into your body, not your mind, right? Because we're already in that spiral thing. So we're too much in our mind. Getting into our body, being more present, being grounded in ourselves, and learning how to be where we're at without thinking about how everyone else perceives us, right? You know what matters to you most. Stop letting everyone else tell you what it is. If you build your house with everyone else's plans, it's going to be a nightmare. The Six of Cups. So we had the Six of Cups earlier. Where'd she go? Yeah, with the devil. Both in the sideways. The Six of Cups. Right? The Six of Cups. Get back into your inner child. Figure out what lit you up as a child. What was your dream as a kid? And start there. It's only a hard lesson if you let it be a hard lesson. But you are right. Sometimes it takes a lot to unplug and start actually looking at your life in your own terms. Yeah. The Emperor in reversed. We want to get in our Empress energy, being comfortable with receiving, being comfortable in that slower creation energy instead of trying to force it to happen, instead of trying to go into burnout. So yeah, not going into burnout, not going after whatever this is the same way we have been, trying to force it. Look who showed up. This is in the sideways, right? The Emperor and the Empress. The divine masculine, the divine feminine side. They're saying they don't want you to be in this aggressive, over-chasing, trying to make it happen, going so hard we burn out, right? Because fire, our motivation, our inspiration, and all of that can be destructive. It can be destructive if we put all of our motivation in our fire with no forethought, nothing. We just go with pure motivation. It can become destructive to ourselves, usually. And this is sideways. We want to be the Empress. We want to be sitting in our garden. We want to be enjoying the abundance. We want to be happy with receiving, loving ourselves, right? In the reversed, the Empress is someone who never does that. We're back and forth on this. So that's where we're at, right? We need the clarity. The clarity. What does your Empress look like? What is your divine feminine aspect? What does that look like? You've already been in your masculine energy. You've already been in the ambitious, overworking, burning out, way overbooking your calendar, way overbooking. Like, you have 24 hours in a day and you fill out all 23 of them and you have it down to the minute. You probably give yourself like 4 hours worth of sleep, or you try to pretend like there's an extra 8 hours in there somewhere. I'll figure out when to sleep at some point, right? No. Find your clarity. What is your Empress? What is your Empress side? Figure out what that is. Don't ask everyone else what theirs is. Figure out what yours is. What brings you peace, right? What is restful to you? What brings you what helps recharge you so that you come back to your tasks refreshed, so that you come back to bringing in your abundance refreshed? What does that look like to you? What makes you happy? What makes you creative? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel what makes you feel like you look your best? You know, what brings you into that playful, fun, creative mood? Go after it, friend. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles. This is not the time to bully yourself. This is not the time to look for the handouts. This is not the time to be looking for everyone else to pull you out. No. I can give you advice through tarot, through spirit, right now the way I am. But I cannot tell you what your Empress side is. I cannot tell you the perfect formula for you to become your inner Empress. I can't do that. I'm not you. I'm not in your meat suit. What works for me might not work for you. Didn't mean to bump you there. My Emperor side is not your Emperor side. I can't tell you. I could. It may not work for you, right? Because our energy levels are different. The times we wake up are different. Our schedules are different. Our responsibilities are different. It's not going to be the same. Okay? The more we look for someone else to tell us, the more we stay here. The more we stay constantly reaching out for someone else to tell us. You got to find it. And I'm not saying you can't ask for help. I'm not saying you got to go it all alone. I'm not saying you have to be in your Emperor trying to chase it. No. We have to remember that rest is productive too. What are the ways that you need to take care of yourself in order to recharge? You got to find that out. You got to find your truth. Yeah, the High Priestess. Stop ignoring your intuition. Your intuition tells you, right? Your fear and your panic are very loud. They scream. They scream. They're so loud. Your intuition whispers. You need to be listening to your intuition. This says we're not. This says we're not listening to it. We're not tapping into our intuition. And we need to leave our burdens behind, okay? Please leave those expectations behind. There's not a single person out there, not a single person out there who can actually follow the status quo, who can actually live that life as the super parent, as the super person. Like, there's not a single person that can actually do that. Everybody has their things. Everybody has their time where they need to rest. Everybody has their time where they burn out a little bit. Everybody has their thing. There's no such thing as a person. I don't care what they post on social media. I don't care what they tell everyone else. We all have lazy days. We all have days where we wake up and we go, actually, I don't want to go do that workout. Actually, I would rather have a bowl of mac and cheese instead of a salad. Actually, I would rather read smut today. You know, like, whatever it is. We have days where we don't want to do the productive thing. We want to go do this instead, right? And usually that's the day you should be doing it. Not every day, right? Because over Empress means passivity in life. Not doing anything, not going after anything, right? Unhealed Emperor is burnout. Unhealed Empress is never doing anything at all because we don't have any ambition. But there's not a single person out there who can follow the schedule that everyone says success is, because everyone's version of success is different. Okay? What else did you need to do at this time, Spirit? Goodness. A little chaotic here. I saw that devil try to peek out again. Get out of here. Enough of that devil energy. It's annoying me. Magician. This is also sideways. What are you manifesting into your life? Right? Again, all these sideways. This is what we're working on. Gaining our clarity on what our Empress energy is, so then we can manifest it into our lives, so that we can actually bring that change that we want. In order to bring the change that you want, you have to first figure out what the hell you're trying to change, and not just trying to change every single thing about yourself. No, you're not here to change every single thing about yourself. If you weren't supposed to be who you are, you would have been born a different person. Point blank, period. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care what anyone has ever said about you. I don't care who you've been in this lifetime. You're here to be you. You're here to live your life. You're here to experience your experiences. You're here to make your decisions and live your life. You're not here to be that person. You're here to be you. You're here to be you. Choose you. Okay? One more, and then I will move into advice. Justice. That brings your justice. Bringing out the clarity on what your Empress energy is helps you manifest that justice you're looking for. Okay? Yep. And that Knight of Pentacles right at the end. The discipline. The discipline to keep the justice around. The discipline to keep that justice. Manifesting the ability to maintain the thing we want. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, I'm being called to get into the advice oracle cards. But before I do that, I would like to do a quick recap. I do that because after the live, I post a summarized video on everything that happened here for people who could not make the live. So just bear with me for a moment, and then I will move into our little advice oracle cards. The last deck that I used is the Marigold Tarot. Absolutely gorgeous deck. Check them out. I'm not sponsored. I've had these decks for a while. I love them, okay? Except for the Mythos Tarot. This was recently gifted to me. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Gifted to me by another person, not the company. No, they don't know I exist. So, just bear with me, and we will move to the advice to help you move forward on your path in order to bring a bit more food for thought and a little bit more clarity. And then I will release you into the wilds. So, this collective does not celebrate their accomplishments. Point blank, period. They don't. Not at all. Nope. They're very restless. They want to change everything about themselves. Right? They have all this motivation to change. They have all this desire to change. But they're so conflicted on what they want to change that they just look for all the information on changing everything about themselves. Everything. Right? They're trying to find their spark. They're trying to find their inner empress, right? Bringing forth that manifestation energy, that creative energy, bringing in the self-love, the confidence, all those things that they want to be, right? But they don't even know where to start, basically. It's like, well, okay, I have the motivation, but where do I even begin? And sometimes over-motivation can be very destructive, right? Because right now we're in this energy of the lovers, going back and forth on our divine feminine and our divine masculine, being very ambitious about how we're going to change things, following our intuition, trying to practice self-love, and then just complete burnout, changing too much about us, locking our inner selves away, being like, no, I have to change everything about myself because XYZ. We're currently in this back and forth decision of listening to our inner critic which tells us all the reasons why we need to change, why we're awful at it. It's a constant shame loop. I want to change everything about myself. I'm going to ignore my intuition. I'm going to try to bring this justice. I'm going to try to force it. And then I do a cycle repeat of manifesting more, of telling myself why I suck, why I need to change everything, and then starting the process over and over and over again. Right? This feeling, yeah. I want to bring in this King of Cups. I want to bring in this emotional like stability. I want to bring in this new version of myself, someone who loves myself, someone who doesn't drown in my emotions when stuff hits the fan. But I'm not really successful at it because I'm going about it in a very chaotic way. I'm going about it in a very self-destructive way, right? This collective goes back and forth between being very fair and honest with themselves, recognizing that changes do need to happen, but then they flip into being so overcritical and berating themselves that it kind of puts them back into this feedback loop of not being able to let go of these extremely high standards, going back and forth on all the reasons why you're not allowed to just exist. You're not allowed to have any grace. You're not allowed to ever have an off day. None of those things. The reason that you are here listening to me right now is because your dreams want you. You have big dreams for yourself. You want to change. You desire this change, right? You've looked at your life. You're not happy with where it is, and you're trying to rush and change things. You're trying to change your life based on the opinions of everyone else who tells you what success is, what being successful looks like, what it should be. And you can't quite get your priorities straight because everyone you ask tells you a different thing to focus on. In order to be successful, you have to be this, you have to be this, you have to be this, to where you don't even know how to start. You can't make any plans because you don't know where to even focus, right? We're too worried about everyone else's opinion that it makes it hard to plan our own lives, right? We can't even plan our own healing. We can't bring in our justice. We can't bring in our legacy, our self-confidence, the things we want. We have a hard time planning those things because we can't even get started. We go back and forth, right, on this devil energy, that self-sabotage behavior. Remember that one time when you were a kid, when you tried to chase after your happiness and you were berated for it? And you just repeat that thought process ever again. Do you remember that time when we tried to do it and it didn't work out and we were unhappy? You should never do that again, right? We just keep going back and forth on, I didn't do enough, so I didn't deserve the change. I didn't deserve the love. No. You need to go after those things. Go after what sparks your soul, right? Stop listening to the people who will keep you forever in this chaotic energy, who will keep telling you that in order to feel better, you have to put on a new highlighter. You have to do a new workout routine. You have to follow this specific lifestyle in order to be a better person. You have to talk this way, walk this way, look this way, be this way in order to be a better person. You don't need to be doing that. No, you don't need to be doing that. You don't need to be following their reality. You need to be following yours, right? You are trying to manifest your own self-love. You are trying to bring it in, but we are refusing to leave behind this needing to reach out and get external validation on whether or not we've been doing the internal work. And again, this is the little Queen of Swords here saying you have your own brain. There's no actual way for people to tell you you're doing the internal work if they can't hear your own thoughts, if they can't watch you 24/7 to make sure that you're actively working on your own inner thoughts. And again, you can have a therapist, right? But the therapist is not going to tell you, wow, you're doing so great. You're all healed now. No, that's not their job. Their job is to point out. Their job is to be the Queen of Swords. Their job is to go, why do you feel like you're not worthy of love? Who told you that? Why do you think that's true? Why do you think that's true? Why do you feel like that's correct? Right? That's their job. Their job is to make you think. Their job is to give you the tools in order to work through those emotions so that you can actually heal yourself. Because again, you're smart enough to do that work. You just don't know how to do it yet, right? Instead, we keep looking for someone, that validation. We keep looking for somebody to tell us we're healed. We did it. We've done enough. We've gotten a high enough score on the healing test to deserve our happiness now. And that's not how it works, friend. That's not how we want people to tell us, you're the emperor now. You're in control of your life. You're doing such a great job. And you are doing such a great job. But you don't need me to tell you that. You need you to tell you that, because you will always think that I'm lying to you. You will always think, no matter who it is, whether it's a stranger on the internet or it's your best friend, you will always think they're lying to you. Do you want to know why? Because you don't believe it. You don't believe it in yourself. You'll always be like, oh, well, they've been friends with me for forever, so they're obligated to say those things. Oh, they're my parent, right? They're obligated to say those things. They're my partner. They're obligated to say those things. Until you actually go in and start paying attention to yourself, you're not going to believe that. You're not going to believe that you're in control of your life, because you're always going to be waiting for someone else to tell you that you did it, right? Have I suffered enough to deserve my justice yet? Did I pass the test? Am I done? That's not what you're here to do. No. Right? Can I go after my motivation now? Can I go after my dreams now? Have I suffered enough? Did I pass the test yet? Am I done? Have I done enough? No, that's not. Can I finally be happy now? Can I finally go out and be happy? Can I finally be the inspirational leader? Can I finally share my story? No, that's not what. You don't need anyone to tell you that, right? Because there will always be somebody in this Queen of Wands energy. There will always be somebody who sees you in your Queen of Wands energy, who sees you going after your motivation, who sees you shining and confident, and it will irritate their demons, and they will continue to bring up all that past stuff, all those little wounds that puts you back in the spiral shame loop because you haven't addressed it. You haven't addressed your own belief, right? And then you'll always wonder if you chose wrong, right? They'll always be the one that says, are you sure you didn't try this? Because they don't know how to love themselves either. If you're always looking for someone else to tell you, there will always be somebody to tell you why you're not ready yet, because they don't want to be left behind. They don't want to have to go face their own inner demons. So they'll keep everyone around them in the same so that they don't have to do the work yet. Spirit says, stop listening to them. Get back into your inner child. Get back into what lights you up. Get back into that playful, innocent energy. Get back into what lights your soul on fire. What brings you into that energy. That's how you tap into self-love. And what you need to do about it. Get clear on your priorities. Find your truth. Right? Stop trying to rush that process. Right? Don't rush the process. You want to be the lovers. You want to be balanced and healed. Well, first you got to figure out what your truth is. What is success to you? What is happiness to you? Right? Figure that out. You can't rush the process. You don't want a shaky foundation. You don't want your house that you're building to be built on a foundation that will crumble at the slightest breeze. No, take your time. Build it right. Get back into that inner child. Get back into what makes you happy. Right? Stop looking for everyone else's approval of what you're doing. You don't need it. Because if you're always looking at everyone else's approval, you will never feel in control of your life. You will always continue to chase and burn out and go after everything. You will continue to go because you'll continue to think that you haven't done enough. And so you'll have to do more and more and more and more until you eventually fall down and combust. When in reality, you need to get clear on what your empress is. You want the empress, what is it? What is your empress? I want to be the empress. What does that look like to you, friend? How are you going to go after it if you don't know what it is? Not what he says it is, not what she says it is, not what they says it is, not even what I say it is. What is it to you? And then stand on it. Go after it, okay? Because the longer you put your hand out and you say, can someone give me the answer? You'll always find someone that gives you the wrong answer. They will give you the answer that works for them. That is bad for you. It's toxic for you, okay? Even if it's well-intentioned advice, even if it's not even meant to be harmful, what works for me will not always work for you. That doesn't mean you're inherently worth less. It doesn't mean there's inherently anything wrong with you. It's just what works for me may not work for you, and that's fine. Figure out what your Empress is. Stop asking for everyone to tell you. Figure it out for yourself. Yeah, listen to your intuition. Listen to the whisper, okay? You are much more capable than you think. You are much stronger than you think. You are much smarter than you think. The things that make you feel good, the things that recharge you, the things that call at you, right? That's your Empress. So go after it. Don't let me tell you how to recharge yourself. My meat suit is not your meat suit. And let go of your burdens. Let go of those lofty expectations you have of yourself. There's not a single soul out here, not a single person who can actually meet societal expectations on the perfect person. Perfection doesn't exist. All right? There's not a single person who can be a super person, who can be a super parent, who can be the super woman, the superman, the super they them, the super whomever. There's not a single person. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's just a matter of what matters to you, what matters to me, and then we go make it happen and try our best to not have regrets on it afterwards, right? Once you get clear on what your Empress is, you can actually go after it. You can actually start manifesting it. If you never know what it is, you can't manifest it because you don't know where to go. So you got to get clear on that, okay? Get clear on that. That brings that justice you're trying to get. That brings the fairness. That balances the scales. And then that brings you to the discipline to keep it. Because it's actually something you want. It's actually something that brings you happiness. So you're more inclined to keep it. You're more inclined to keep it and hold it and maintain it. Not safeguard it, not like hoard it out so no one can see it, right? Because there's no reason to gatekeep your Empress. It's what works for you. It's not going to work for everyone else, so they can't steal it from you. The only way you lose your Empress and Emperor energy is if you willingly give it away. But you can always call it back, okay? You can always call it back. So that's the recap. Let's get into the Oracle of Dice cards. So this is a newer Oracle deck that I have had for the past couple of weeks. And it's called the Beast Soul Oracle cards. They have sentences and cute little animals, right? Words and sentences. Some of them have spells, not like super woo-woo, but more like affirmations type of spells. And that's just to help you with that, right? The animals are confirmation, the words are keywords, but it's mainly there to help bring extra thought, to help make you think, to help bring you that clarity. So, let's see. Actually, I don't want to bend these cards, so I'm going to shuffle it a different way. All right, Spirit. We've got this beautiful collective here, this wonderful collective. They've stayed, they've been patient, they've been absolutely wonderful. Let's ease their anxieties and their fears. Let's help bring them this guidance that they seek, this fated transformation in their will and their desire. Let's help them out. Bring them that advice that they so desire, that knowledge, that little push. Let's help them out here, Spirit. Some closing advice from my wonderful collective here today. Thank you all so much for spending your Tuesday with me. Thank you for your likes, your shares, the reposts I've seen. Holy cow. The gifts, all the wonderful comments. You guys have been amazing. Absolutely amazing. And for your patience. Oh my goodness. Let's see. And I like these colors because they're so gentle, right? It feels like this collective needs a little more gentleness. I remember how in the beginning it felt like the cards were really hard to shuffle. These ones are smoother. It's been a lot smoother since. It's like just that little bit of gentleness. Some closing advice from my collective here today as they move forward on their path. Guardian Bear, power, inner strength, and healing. Go travel. Discover the beauty of nature. You need to connect you to the power of the earth. So some of you here may need a little bit of grounding, right? And what that means is perhaps putting your feet on the grass, going out into nature, hearing bird song, being around water, things that are very calming, soothing to the soul, right? Quieting the noise of everything else and just being in the quiet, but not too quiet. You know what I mean? Just listening to the sound of nature in order to pull you into the present and center yourself. What other advice do you have for my collective here today, Spirit? Number 8 for karma. Karma, strength, and power. Interesting. Closing advice, Spirit, please. Yeah, a little bit of quiet. Just some quiet. I like being quiet now. A little bit of peace. Peaceful moment. Purifying frog. Rebirth, cleansing, and revitalization. Let go of the past, accept new beginnings, and find the path to a new start. Yes. Figure out what your Empress is and go for it. Not the past, not whatever someone said was the correct way to go. Figure out what you want. I feel it's like just this. That reminds me, I'm gonna light this incense here for a little extra cleansing. Before this live started, I did manifest that anybody who came in here would have anxieties cleansed, and we'll just re-up on that energy. So I want people to leave this live feeling lighter and a little less heavy. Any more closing advice from my wonderful collective here today? And how to move forward on their path towards self-love and confidence. Breathing would be really nice. Yeah, some of you might need to tap into some breath work. There's a wonderful breath work you can do to get more centered in your body, and that's just count to 4 when you breathe in, hold it for 4 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds. And just do that a couple times, nice and slowly, and that will actually take you, that'll actually take you out of that spiral thing and start bringing you into your body, because instead of focusing on all those thoughts, you'll be focusing on the breath. Saturdays are actually, I can tell you why, Henri. That's because Saturday is the day of Saturn, and it is a day of grounding. And somatic breathing is a grounding practice. So that's actually a beautiful day to do somatic breathing techniques. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, that was a user error. I'm not going to take those. We have a gentle whale here for introspection, depth, and transcendence. You need to calm down and awaken the cosmic consciousness within you. Oh man, ooh, I felt that resistance from myself too. So, like me, some of you may get irritated being told to calm down. I don't think spirit means, intuitive hit probably. That means that spirit's trying to help you out. They're trying to tell you to just breathe a little bit, okay? Again, not trying to rush. Not trying to rush. Life is not a race, it's a journey. There's a time for races, and there's a time to enjoy the scenic route, right? Your entire life is not a race. You're supposed to be enjoying the scenery along the way. Now take a breath, get back into yourself, and you don't have to move at breakneck speed. You don't have to have your whole life figured out at 25. Oh. You don't know. You have, 50 to 70 years to figure it out? You don't gotta rush. Take your time. Any more advice for my collective here today? Unique unicorns, resilience, creativity, uniqueness. An unborn tendency for creativity, finding your creative passion. What I say? Now, some of you may be surprised to see a narwhal here. And that's because technically narwhals are unicorns. They are the only creature with one actual horn on their head. Interesting, right? But an unborn tendency for creativity, finding your creative passion. You're already unique. I don't know why you're trying to be someone else. You want to be the Empress. The Empress is the embodiment of creativity. So you have to find the parts of yourself that are creative. It doesn't have to be necessarily artwork, right? I often say that logical-minded people who do things with mathematics, people who are engineers, people who create things, you're still creating. People who build skyscrapers, even the most logical of things also involve creativity, because you have to dream that into being and then somehow make it so. It doesn't always have to be painting. So finding something that really makes you creative, okay? And the noble peacock, prestige, self-respect, and awareness. Thank you so much. Keep it up. Your confidence and grace, he would know. Look at that. There it is. This thing, you're trying to bring it in. The fact that you want it means it's coming to you. You are deserving of it because what you want wants you. And the peacock is here to say, you deserve it. I'm here. The peacock sees it in you because it's there. You wouldn't be coming after it if it wasn't. Oftentimes we get inspired by people because those traits are already inherently within us, and we just haven't figured out how to unlock that yet. That's it. You're already all the things that you aspire to. You just have to learn how to get there. That's all. And you're not going to fall off the path and make a wrong, you're already destined to it, right? You're already fated to your transformation in your will. Why are you rushing? You're already on the path. You'll get there. Give yourself the chance to enjoy the journey. And I know people will roll their eyes at me, okay? Give yourself the chance to learn the tools to keep that into your life. Curious hedgehog, what I say? Curiosity, energy, productivity. Pay attention to the things and people around you and discover new opportunities. Be curious. Be curious along the way. It's okay. It's okay to stop and smell the roses. It's okay to enjoy the route. It's okay to enjoy the ride. Okay? It's okay to be curious. It's okay to be creative. It's okay to take your time. Right? Isn't it? It's okay. You don't gotta rush. You don't gotta rush. You don't need to be on anyone else's timeline. Smart walrus. Intensity, attentiveness, and ferocity. Say no to violence and show your strength in a gentle way. Yeah, you don't gotta rush it. You don't gotta rush it, friend. You don't gotta rush it. Don't gotta rush it at all. And the last one is the naughty otter. I love him. Enjoy the simple things in life. Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride, okay? Learning your creative passions, figuring out what lights you up. Enjoy the process. Enjoy it. The Empress is having a good time. Oh, we have the patient turtle. endurance, commitment, and serenity. Strengthen your connection to the earth. Again, that grounding. Find the grounding processes. Find the thing that gets you into your body and out of your head. Find the thing that gets you back to center. Find the thing that recharges you. Find the thing that gets you in this cute little otter energy. Be playful. That's what the Empress embodies. The Empress embodies having a good time. She's not just here to rule her kingdom. She's here to enjoy the kingdom. Make the kingdom worthy of being ruled, right? The emperor protects the kingdom, right? He's the one who makes sure that the kingdom stays safe. Our ambitious go-getter side. We go get the kingdom and then we protect the kingdom. The empress makes sure the kingdom is worth protecting. They enjoy the garden. They make it worth protecting. Otherwise, it would just be an abandoned garden that no one cared about. They're the one that brings all the life and the beauty and everything into it. So same thing here. If you want to be in your Empress energy, if you want to be in your soft energy, you have to learn how to get in that energy. In order to learn, you have to go figure it out. You have to go try things and tap into those things that were kind of like, I'm too old for that. That's for kids. That's for, I don't deserve that. No, go do it. And finally, the soaring eagle, clarity, inspiration, and insight. Awaken your spirit to soar to new heights. Right? You gotta fly. Leave the nest. Soar. Do it. To get in the Empress energy, you must be playful. You must try new things. You must enjoy the life that you built for yourself. Build a life for yourself, but also don't just build a life. Build the life you want. What do you want it to look like? And then go enjoy the life you built for yourself. Enjoy it. Actually be in it. Enjoy it along the way. The Empress is going to enjoy it even when it's just 2 bricks making the wall, because it's still her life. She's not going to wait until it's all done in order to enjoy it. She'll enjoy it the entire time, just like the Emperor will, right? Because again, that's a balance. The Emperor and the Empress will enjoy the life that they built while building it, okay? Not later, now. Stop rushing. Stop rushing. Enjoy it now. Find ways to enjoy it now, okay? So, that is all I have for you, my friend. I hope that this was helpful, and that it leads you towards a much more enjoyable life, and towards your Empress side that we're trying so hard to bring in. If you want a personal reading from me, I do offer that at the link in my bio. Feel free to check that out. If you're watching from the YouTube later when I post this, that link will be in the description box below. Thank you, Henri, you as well. And yeah, the things I offer, it just says things like 3 or 10 cards. That's the tarot cards. That is just the number of tarot cards, right? I also, with the tarot cards, also offer, it also includes the dice, the runes, the charms, channeled songs, synchronicities. Everything you saw here today comes with it. Everything. Typed up in a little PDF. I plan on expanding that into video, making my life work around that, all that kind of stuff. Thank you. Thank all of you for being here, first and foremost. Yeah, so that's what I offer there. Feel free to check it out, see if I vibe with you. If I do not, and this is the last I see of you, thank you so much for your time and your energy. Thank you for allowing me to be your reader for today, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your night. I wish you all the love, luck, peace, joy, abundance, healing, and self-love in this journey on your path. Remember, life is an ever-crooked path, and you are never off of it, okay? If you have chosen to follow me, if you do like my vibe, thank you so much. I wish all the same for you, and yeah, I can't wait to see you in the next one. Have a beautiful night, all of you. Bye!